Hello, hello. You are here for our welcome webinar, Navigating Your HoneyBook Trial. So we will be here for about 30 minutes today, covering all the ins and outs of navigating your HoneyBook account. I'm your host here today, Mac Hughes. I've been with the company for about 6 years now. I'm part of our product education team, so we will likely meet again at some point throughout your HoneyBook journey, so long as you like what you see here today. So looking forward to helping you guys get your feet under you with the new system and just get confident overall with the new tools you have access to. This specific session is intended for folks who have recently started a trial with us, or for those new members who just need a little bit more context on what they just signed up for. If that is you today, you're very much in the right place. We also have resources for new members who want more of an orientation or getting started session. So if you need that instead, feel free to hop over into the chat and we will get that resource to you. If you are watching our recording, the link is actually just down below for you, so feel free to find that. And please do use that chat if you are here live with us today. I have one of my lovely, lovely coworkers here to assist and get your questions answered as they come up, which is just to say we will not be reserving any specific time for questions at the end of today's session, but rather we want to get those taken care of along the way as soon as they come up. Alrighty, so on to our agenda. All of you guys are going to leave here today with a high-level understanding of what HoneyBook is capable of doing for your business. That is really our goal here today. In order to get there, we need to go through some basics. So first things first, what is HoneyBook? We're also going to cover 3 things everyone should know before joining or purchasing membership. We'll review what tools are available in HoneyBook and what they can do for you, go through some general HoneyBook vocab, and then, of course, wrap up with your membership options and next steps. So, what is HoneyBook? HoneyBook is a platform for creative, independent business owners to manage, simplify, and scale their businesses all in one place. So, that just means we're going to help you create, track, share, and organize all of your client communications from inquiry through the end of the job. That'll include things like scheduling, invoicing, contracting, of course, collecting payments, and so much more that we will review all here today. So what do I need you guys all to know? If you're just getting started in your journey with HoneyBook, there are 3 things I really want you guys to have confidence in. And the first we've already covered. What is HoneyBook? It is a client flow management system. The second thing I want you guys to be aware of is our complimentary file setup. So this is available to all of our new members. We will reach out as soon as you purchase membership to collect all of your contracts, invoices, questionnaires, brochures, pricing guides, welcome packets, really any files that you already have set up and already use for your business so that our team can take those and build them into your account so that right away, right off the bat, in your templates section, your files are set up. Of course, all of this information can be edited and adjusted after the fact, but it's going to save you some massive time in the initial setup and really help you get your feet under you. So don't miss out on the opportunity to take advantage of that file setup as soon as you purchase membership, and also just something good to keep in mind throughout your trial to not do too much of that work during your trial period, since we will be covering that for you as soon as you join. And then the next natural question I get after I'm talking about our file setup is, but Mac, what if I'm just starting out? What if I'm just getting started? What if I don't have files to send to the team? That is no problem at all. File setup is really just for those more established businesses who need to transition into a new tool, right? So if you're just starting out, there's no issue just building that information from scratch right into the HoneyBook system. But we also have an incredible template gallery that can act as a really great jumping off point or even just source of inspiration for you. So definitely check that out as well. Okay, so we're going to be here for about 30 minutes today, going through all of the things I just mentioned, the ins and outs of the account, just to kind of high level get you all acquainted with what you're signing up for here, okay? So what we're looking at here is a glimpse inside of a HoneyBook account, inside of someone in their early stages of setting up HoneyBook. So what we've got here on the main homepage, this is showing us our setup guide. So this is listing out all the different steps that you might consider prioritizing while you're getting acquainted with the HoneyBook system. So this is always a really good place to start. I know if you're anything like me, sometimes your eye kind of glazes over when there's this much information on the page, or you just want to learn on your own, but I highly recommend clicking into each of these steps to kind of get familiar with the HoneyBook accounts and see what they have to offer. Okay, but rather than focusing on those things today, I want to give us more of a comprehensive view of what the HoneyBook tool can do for you. So I'm going to spend the majority of my time hanging out here in the Projects tab, okay? And this Projects tab is going to show you all of your clients' information, okay? This is where you're going to spend the majority of your time once you're a HoneyBook member, because this is where all of your client information lives, okay? This is where HoneyBook tracks all of your communication, all of your bookable documents, all of your contracts, invoices, questionnaires, really anything that you use to communicate with your clients. This is where all of that information is going to be housed, okay? So for starters, I want to kind of pause for a second and give us the space to define some of these things and some of the benefits of this HoneyBook Projects tab. So what does a project mean? What are we talking about here? So a project in HoneyBook is just going to be the different jobs that you're working on, okay? So oftentimes, right, the jobs that we're working on are defined by the client who's hiring us. So we can see that all of our projects are, for the most part, named after the client, whether that be an individual or a business who's hiring us to do a thing, right? So that's what we're talking about here when we talk about projects in HoneyBook. Now, what we're looking at up at the top of the screen here, this is called the HoneyBook pipeline. And this is going to break down all of your jobs in HoneyBook, or all of your clients that you're working with, all your projects by stage. Okay, so each of these items here is a stage in your pipeline, and it's going to help you categorize where people fall in your process. Okay, so these are kind of the standard ones that we have built into your account, but of course you can customize and add additional ones to better fit your own specific process. But there are some automations built into this pipeline in order to help with the automatic job tracking. Okay, so what we're looking at here is all of your inquiries. So how does client information get into HoneyBook, right? So obviously we've got 8 jobs we're working on here. Apparently 4 of them are inquiries, but how did this information even get into the system? Okay, so there's a couple different options. Really just depends on your process, but the main recommendation that we give is using the HoneyBook contact form. So this contact form is going to replace any contact form that you use today on your website, and it can also have a direct link option. So the direct link option of the contact form can be shared basically for all of your non-website inquiries. So the contact form can be embedded onto your website to collect all those folks from your actual website. But if you get leads from other places, or let's say maybe you don't have a website, the direct link option, let me actually click in and show you guys. The direct link option lives down here. And this is what you can use to share with all of your non-website inquiries. So you can have this link live in your Instagram bio. You can have this on your Facebook page. You could have this saved as a note on your phone so that when people text you inquiring, you have the link easily on hand and you can send it out to them. Whatever makes the most sense for your business, the contact form, again, whether it be embedded onto your website or you're using the direct link method, this form is what your clients can fill out so that their information gets added into that pipeline that we were just looking at. And of course, as with all things in HoneyBook, all of this information here, all of these questions that are being asked can be completely customized. So you can change the verbiage of them, you can change the order of them, you can hover and find a trash can to get rid of them, you can look for a plus button and add more. You guys get the gist, okay? You can totally adjust this to fit whatever process makes the most sense for how you like to collect your inquiries. The idea here is just that this form is going to make your life so much easier when it comes to adding your leads into the HoneyBook tool, okay? So that's our first form of automation here in this pipeline. When your clients fill out the contact form, they're going to be dropped off right here into this inquiry tab. From there, you can follow up with them by clicking into the project, sending them a message, sending them a smart file, whatever it might be. HoneyBook will recognize when you've done that, and it'll move those folks to the follow-up stage, okay? So the folks in the follow-up stage are all the people who have already heard from you. Anyone in the inquiry stage has not heard from you yet. So HoneyBook is smart enough to recognize the difference between those two stages and automatically track it for you. The next automation here is going to be around proposal sent. So the functionality of proposal in HoneyBook is defined by any booking action, which we consider to be paying an invoice or signing a contract, because either of those things mean that you're in business. You're doing business with that person, so we are going to consider that a proposal. So anytime you send a smart file in HoneyBook that has either of those capabilities, the system will recognize that and move those clients who have received those files to the proposal sent stage. Continuing right along, once your client has signed the document inside of that file or paid any invoice inside of that file, will also track those things as well. Okay, so hopefully your gears are turning here, right? If you are someone who is coming from an outside system, or maybe you've got kind of a hodgepodge of tools that you mix together to get through your process of communicating with your clients, hopefully you're starting to see how much HoneyBook is going to save you time and even ideally give kind of a sigh of relief when it comes to tracking all the different clients you're communicating with. In here, I've only got 8 jobs going on, but I'm sure there are plenty of you in the crowd who juggle more than 8 clients, more than 8 jobs at a time. So hopefully this is giving you kind of a fresh perspective of how much easier HoneyBook is going to make your life when it comes to these automations, even just in the tracking aspect here. Okay, so let's take a look inside of one of our projects. So anytime you need to communicate with your clients, check in on their progress, send them some kind of file, all of that is going to be done from inside of the project workspace, which is what we're looking at here. Okay, so I've already been in communication with this client. I've already shared one of my smart files, even collected some payments. But I just want to give you guys kind of a future glance at what it could look like when you're working with a client, and then we'll kind of backtrack through the details from there. So we're dropped off right away into the activity feed here. And this is again where we can keep track of any of the smart files that have been sent, any recent activities, so contracts being signed, payments being submitted, and any messages exchanged between yourself and the client. Okay, as well as contact form submission. So if your client had submitted a contact form, again, that's going to be what kind of kicks off our project workspace. So a copy of that contact form will also live at the bottom of the activity feed. So really everything there is to know about this client is going to be logged inside of their project workspace here in the activity tab. So this is also where you can come if you need to send them a message, aka an email, right? So we can click our cursor in there and we have the option to type up a message. Looking forward to chatting later today or something like that. Maybe we want to reply to the existing thread or start a new message thread. However you want to do that, you can manage that all from here. And you also, of course, have the option to add in messaging from email templates. So this is really kind of the heart and soul of the HoneyBook system, is these magical templates that we have. So I'm going to get into these in just a couple of minutes, but to give you a glimpse, again, we're going to kind of start at the end here and work our way backwards so you guys can see the end result, and then we'll see how we got to this place. But the email templates are going to be a huge time save for anyone in the HoneyBook system. Just to give you an idea, let me pull in one of our email templates. So you can see maybe you have this kind of baseline of communicating with your client. You've left a little placeholder for yourself to add whatever link you need to add depending on what you're delivering to them. And you can, of course, even further customize the experience with whatever text you need to do. But the idea here is that template is saving us a ton of time because 90% of the work was already done for us. Okay, let's check out some of these other tabs here. So we've got our Files tab. This is again going to show us any smart files that we've sent through HoneyBook, as well as any attachments or images that you and the client have exchanged back and forth on your email thread. And when you click into this smart file icon here, it's going to drop us off into a nice little summary page where we can track the progress of this file with the client. So we can see when it was sent, viewed, in progress, or completed, and it's giving us a summary of pages viewed, actions taken, and any questions that are submitted as well. So not only giving us this high-level perspective of what's going on with this file, but even further giving us a deeper dive into the different actions that your client has taken, what's been paid versus not paid, what's been signed versus not signed, and then even a page-by-page view of this file too. So let's just zoom out one notch here. How did we even get to send that smart file? What does that process look like? So when it's time to share a smart file with your clients, you'll come up here to this Create New button inside of your project with them, and then you'll select the type of smart file that you'd like to send. As I was mentioning, the proposal term in HoneyBook just means any bookable function. So for us, this is going to be the invoice and contract combined into one master file, which is really what smart files are all about in HoneyBook. Smart files are basically going to be exactly what they sound like, a smarter version of what you've already probably encountered in your business. So if you are someone who uses Canva documents or PDFs or DocuSign, or again, different kind of softwares combined together to build out a process, HoneyBook is going to kind of take the walls off of all of those different programs and combine them all into one powerhouse document that's going to work smarter and harder for you so that you don't have to, which is just to say that your clients will be able to do a multitude of different things. And I'll get into the details of that once we check out the template section. But just for right now, we're again just kind of backtracking through our process here. What does it look like when it comes time to book a client? So let's say we're going to send off a proposal file because we need our contract signed and our invoice paid on the same day. So that's right away going to open up this view of our different template options. We've got these filters up here for invoice and contract elements. If I wanted to include additional elements in this document or filter down my templates to search for those, I can do that here. But let's say I want to go ahead and send this basic contract with invoice. This is kind of my go-to template maybe, so I'm going to pop that in. And now we're inside of our smart file builder. So we can see right here, we've got our contract, we've got our invoice page. So this is where I can come in to customize this invoice based off what the client is receiving from me. I've got all my packages already built out here. So all of this information lives up in the master template section. And again, that's what I'll get into in a couple minutes, but I want to kind of show you guys the end result so you can get an idea of why the templates are so important. And if I'm starting to lose your interest here, let me just go ahead and give you a little teaser that our concierge team will actually set up your templates for you when you purchase membership. So that process only takes about 2 to 3 business days, and we'll completely set up all of your smart files for you, from contracts to all of your services and pricing, any pricing guides you have, questionnaires or forms that you like your clients to fill out, really the full suite of documentation that you need to effectively run your business. Our concierge team will be handling for you, so that all you have to do is start adding your clients in, and then you can right away communicate with them, book them, get information from them, whatever you need to do. Okay, so I could go ahead and pull in any of these items. I can adjust on a client by client basis, so even down to the sub-item level. I can adjust pricing for things, so if this client's getting a steal on this package for some reason, I can easily adjust that. Add in even more packages that they're getting booked. So right away, you can see how quick it is once your templates are set up to build out a customized file on a client-by-client basis. Down at the bottom of this invoice, we've got our payment schedule going on. So this is where we can come to adjust the different due dates and amounts, either a custom amount, a percentage, or dividing things equally. And then, of course, we can change the due dates to anything that we'd like. We've got a plethora of options here as well, including our fabulous smart dates. You're going to notice this theme, everything's smarter in HoneyBook, right? So we've got the option to do a smart date of however many days, weeks, months before a project date, after a project date, or after an invoice has been sent, along with any of these other invoice due date options. Okay, moving right along here, we've got our payment page where your client can add their payment information to submit payment through HoneyBook. So there are processing fees involved in collecting payment through HoneyBook, just like with any electronic payment. So for card on file, it's going to be 3.4% plus 9 cents per payment, or if the card holder or client is entering it, it's 2.9 plus 25 cents per payment. And for bank transfer payments, it's just going to be 1.5. So those are never doubled up. It just depends on how your client chooses to pay. And you can even control how your client pays here. So if you would rather only take on that 1.5% fee, maybe you'll consider coming in here and adjusting the payment to be bank transfer only. Maybe you also want to toggle on auto pay and allow your clients to leave you a tip. So all of these options are available to you in here. As promised, these files are incredibly customizable, so you don't just have to send one contract, send a separate invoice, send a separate way to pay, and then send an email thanking them for all of that. It's all in one dynamic smart file here in HoneyBook. So this is all really ready to go. I could go ahead and share it out with the client, and that's going to go ahead and open up our email composer here where I can type out a message that the client will receive along with this smart file. I can even use my email templates here to save extra time if I'm repeating a lot of the same information. I know this is a common theme with business owners, right? We're always saying the same stuff in the same repeated situation. So that's the big time save with these templates, really, especially in the email template world. Setting up those different messages for those different situations is going to be such a huge advantage. Again, we're dropped off in our summary view where we can continue to track the progress of this file. Okay, so I've been doing a lot of talking about the templates, but not showing it to you. So let's hop up there to continue on. So if we want to check out our master templates, all we have to do is hover over our tools section and pop over to our My Templates section. I already alluded to the fact that our concierge team is going to be setting this all up for you. So when you purchase membership, you can send us all of your contracts, questionnaires, pricing and services, pricing guides, any forms that you have your clients fill out, really anything like that. And our team is going to go ahead and build it in here for you so that you can really hit the ground running and you don't have to invest too much time early on figuring that out on your own. So just to give you an idea of what smart files are capable of in HoneyBook, I want to quickly pop into a template here just to define some of these elements for you guys. So whether you're going in to build a smart file on your own or our concierge team is doing it for you, you're going in to edit one of the templates they built, you're always going to have the option to do any of these things here. So you can add compositions, which are just a combination of text, images, videos, questions, all pre-formatted to make it easy to add, singular questions, singular text, images, a company info block, or adding any videos or dividers as well. All of these are options for, again, communicating with, conveying information, collecting information from your clients. And then, of course, we have our action blocks down here as well. So this is going to be our contracting, invoice and payment elements, and then our services. So services are worth defining a little bit more because, again, they're one of those things that HoneyBook can do that your PDF or your Canva doc or anything else isn't really going to be capable of. So services in HoneyBook are basically going to allow your clients to select what package, what combination of packages, line items, a la carte options, whatever they might be from their list of options here. So you can add in and display as many service options as you'd like so that your client can select which ones they're interested in receiving from you, even down to updating the quantity on these items. So you can control here in the settings what exactly your clients can do when they're interacting with a service block, whether they're selecting one, selecting multiple, or just reviewing the services you've outlined. So this is more like our traditional quote option. Okay, and you can imagine the power that the service block might have when you're able to combine it with invoicing, contracting, and payment elements all in one powerhouse document. So that is really the big value when it comes to using Smart Files and using the HoneyBook system, is how dynamically everything is going to be interacting here. Your client's services that they select on page, 5 here, are going to pull into the invoice on page 6. So when I click in here, it's letting me know that the client's service selections are going to pull into this invoice so they can submit payment immediately after choosing the package or number of packages or items. However you have your pricing built out, they can submit payment for those things. Okay, and by no means do you have to have your Smart Files set up like this. This is a pretty massive document. This is really just giving you an idea of if you were going to create a Smart File that does all the things, this is what it might look like. But if your process makes the most sense just to have invoice and contract combined, because you do that on the same day to officially book a client, that's what you'll do here. Okay, so that is our high-level overview of what Smart Files are capable of in this template section here. Now let's take a second to explore some of these other tools. Specifically, I want to highlight our scheduling option. So the HoneyBook Scheduler is going to replace any scheduling tool that you might be using today, whether it's Calendly, Acuity, or any of those other scheduling options. And of course, if you're not using any of those options, this will also really help you streamline your meetings in general, because this is going to allow your clients to review your availability and choose the time that works best for them. So just to give you a glimpse of what it looks like from the client side, this is our preview of what the client experience will look like. So your client can come in and choose a day, and then it'll display all the times based off of the parameters that you've set when you go to build out your different session types. You can have as many session types as you'd like, depending on the different needs of the meetings that you host, whether it's a call, a Zoom meeting, in person, or whatever else it might be. Once you've created these sessions, there are a number of ways you can share the link for your clients to book. So you can copy the link right here. Maybe you want to add that to an email template so you can save some time when you're sharing out the option to schedule with you. There's also a really quick, easy option directly inside of each project for you to be able to share your session links. You can just scroll down here and look for this little calendar icon, and this will give you the option to easily pop in the link to schedule with you there as well. Okay, last couple minutes here. Let's wrap up checking out our payments tab. So again, up in the tools section under payments, this is where all of our invoicing elements of our Smart Files are going to be tracked. So whether a client has an overdue payment or upcoming payments, as well as our already paid payments tracked down here. We can even filter by those different things once we start to get more projects going in our system. This will be a good way to keep track of those. You also might have noticed we've got our QuickBooks tab here, so we do integrate with QuickBooks Online. So this will really help keep track of all of your accounting needs in one place. So all of your HoneyBook invoices and invoicing elements will pull into the QuickBooks system so that you can track all of your expenses and invoicing and tax needs all in one place with QuickBooks Online. Final little piece here. So be sure to drop your questions into the chat if you haven't been able to get those answered already. I'm going to wrap up our last couple minutes here in the company settings. So this is where all of your company information lives. When you first create your account with HoneyBook, all of that information will pull in here, and you can change it at any time because that's our general rule here, right? I've been a broken record today in saying that all of the information you add into HoneyBook is completely customizable. So the company and branding information is no exception there. A pro tip for you guys is to customize your company theme here. this is going to help you give a kind of default for all of your smart files to have consistent branding in them, whether it be background colors, text colors, or the font itself. You can even upload custom fonts here. So when you set your company theme, that will make it so all of your files consistently have the same look and feel to them. This is where you add all of your logo and branding information. You can even customize an email signature in HoneyBook. Preferences tab is going to be home to all of your notification settings, including payment reminders out to clients. You do have the ability to have a custom domain and client portal in HoneyBook. If integrations are something that's important to you, this is where you can check out the different integration options we have. Same thing for team here. If you have team members, this is something that you definitely won't want to miss. The final bit here is bank details. This is where you connect your bank account so that HoneyBook can get you the funds when your clients pay through the HoneyBook system. Okay, let's dive into those pricing options. So we have 3 different tiers of membership available here at HoneyBook. And all of these plans are going to come with that complimentary file setup that we discussed at the beginning and the option to pay monthly or annually. So when you opt to pay annually, you are going to save 2 months of subscription costs. Our starter plan here is our most affordable and somewhat limited plan. It's going to give you access to the most essential tools. It's going to exclude access to things like team members, automations, scheduler, QuickBooks integration, profit and loss, and expense management. This is probably the right plan for you if you are part-time in your business or freelance and looking to go full-time. You are solo managing the business and maybe spend 20 to 30% of your time managing things at this point. The Essential plan is our mid-level membership option. It's going to give you access to everything, all of the tools and features in HoneyBook. So you're likely full-time, have been in business for a couple of years, maybe you're spending 40% of your time plus managing your business, and are either running it solo or have a couple of team members. The premium level here is to get you full unlimited access to HoneyBook's tools, so unlimited access to everything, including team. So if your team is larger than 3 people, including yourself, you'll be looking to join at the premium level. This also gives you priority support and multiple brands and companies. You can go ahead and subscribe inside of your HoneyBook trial right under the company settings and membership tab. Just choose the plan that works best for you. Alrighty, that was really everything I had planned for you guys. Thank you so much for joining us here today. I really hope this was helpful in getting your feet under you and help getting you acquainted a little bit more with your account. Please feel free to click the question mark in the bottom right-hand corner of your account to chat with us for any further support. And don't forget, you always have our help center here for self-service resources as well. Alrighty, thanks everyone. Have a great rest of your day.